Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Happy. Thank God it's Thursday. I guess is that a good thing? I think it is. I bought some more. High yielders today. I thought you guys might want to know. I figured we'd just have an afternoon update. Let's just kind of look at the market and the stuff. We don't have to start talking about me right off the bat. Let's look at the market first. Pros versus Joe's indicator is still showing all clear ahead. So now look at this. This is one of the things I bought. I said I wasn't going to talk about me. And anyway, I bought the dip in IBIT. You guys tried to guess what I bought. What was my surrogate? What was my vehicle? What was my IBIT vehicle that I used? Did I get Maxi? Maybe I could have got Maxi. I could have got, did I get BCCC? Yeah, maybe. Anyway, all right. So let's look at the SPY. I also sold something. I was trying to sell something that was high and buy something that was low. The market's still high. I'm afraid it could go lower. But anyway, the market's still relatively high. It's within 1% of all-time highs. So I sold something that was high, and then I bought something that was low, Bitcoin. Just trying to rebalance a little bit. There's the SPYs. All right, we're firmly in the middle of this gap. Be a perfect buy. If you're a bull, that'd be a perfect place for us to turn around. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see. It's not real encouraging that we closed on the dead lows, and we have, but maybe we're going to go for this second gap close right down here. If that's the case, it'd be 675. It'd be your buy the dip zone for that one. Let's look how the Qs are reacting. The Qs have blown through their first dip. They still have two more open dips under them, or gaps. I'm sorry. They've blown through their first open gap. They have a buy the dip zone in this gap at 621, something like that. Maybe for tomorrow if you're a bull, or the ultimate buy the dip would be down here at 613 if they test the breakout and hold, and then it'll turn around and run the other way. Hopefully we're still, hopefully everything's still going well. But until Bitcoin turns around, like I keep saying, this thing's not, it's stocks like Alti and the stocks I like aren't going to get any better. Alti and blocks and those kinds of things aren't going to get any better until Bitcoin turns around. WPay was down too. You can't hide using WPay. I know everyone thinks Roundhill's better, and Roundhill's good. It's worth it's part of the equation, but it's not really necessarily better or worse. It's just a different stock. But it's better on the way up. And we'll take a look at that in a second. I need to make the terrible trio, or the terrific trio, the fantastic foursome or whatever. And maybe I should start looking at WPay on that as well. That might be interesting. All right. Well, and so we've already looked at, we looked at IBIT, but sometimes it's good to look at Bitcoin because no one talks about IBIT prices. Everyone's quoting Bitcoin, and I'm trying to look for a place to buy the dip, and I'm just allocating. It's not a trade. I'm just doing my third quarter allocation. Raised a bunch of cash the other day, right on the all-time highs, which really was a good time to do it, actually. So the market's done nothing but pull back. So, and I was down 1% today, but had I not raised that cash, I would have been down more like 1.5%. But I don't know, man. 103. Hopefully we turn around here and make a higher low than hopefully the bull market's still on. We'll see. We shall see. Haven't we been here before? Haven't we back tested this? Hang on a second. Let's look at it like on the daily charts. Yeah. Jackson, what are you doing over there, buddy? Yeah, we back tested this line before. I knew we'd been here before. That's because I saw that line. We've been here 1, 2, 3 times before. This will be the fourth time. It'd be really nice to hold that. If we don't, maybe it's time to get some WNTR. I don't know. My YQQQ did well today. Should have got Alti. Should have got Salty. I'm just joking. I thought about getting Salty on the all-time highs just to try to pick the high. That would have been great to buy Salty on the all-time highs, especially if it ends up pulling back a decent amount. I would make bank. I'd make bank at Salty. Their shorts are killing it. All right. Well, that's Bitcoin. Okay. Terrific Trio. Let's go check this out. So let's start with blocks. Or we'll start, whatever. We'll start with blocks. All right. So what do we know about blocks? It's going to be down the most on a bearish day. So let's see what it's down. Then we can guess to the other ones. It's down 5. Okay. So I'm saying LFGY is down 2. And Alti does the best job of protecting capital of the 3. And so I'm going to say it's down 1. We'll see here. But anyway, yeah, this is a mess. I almost bought this. Well, I've almost gave it away. So now you know that I didn't use blocks to buy the dip in Bitcoin. I really said buy the dip in IBIT was the clue. Blocks doesn't really have IBIT. I mean, they have before, but they don't lately. LFGY has some IBIT in it. I think blocks had IBIT before. I'm not sure. Is this blocks' allocation? What happened to? Do they only have HODL? Where's ETHA? Hold on a second. Did they? Are they holy? Oh no, there's ETHA, but it says 0%. Are they? Huh. Well, I think the AI may have been broken on this one. Someone just they still have 14% HODL. This has got to be an AI mistake or whatever. There's no way they sold ETHA and FBTC, but if they did, they're looking really good because those things are getting murdered. Probably what it is David Nicholas probably watches the show, and he probably saw that I, was taking off risk at the all-time top, and so he probably texted his partners. He probably said, "Man, Max Convexity's out. We better, we better get out too because that guy's always right." Right? No, that's not what happened in my dreams. David Nicholas doesn't even know who I am. All right. Look, so LFGY, what I say? I said be down 2 because it protects capital better than blocks does. I mean, on a relative basis on a down day, yeah, 2.5. Okay. I mean, everything's down, but they don't add the extra to the down with their. They don't, the way their options are structured have a little bit more downside cushion. All right. Well, Alti. So I'm going to say 1, maybe 1.5 though. Now if this one's down 2.5, Alti's probably down about 1.5. Alti, think about that. Alti protects capital twice as good as LFGY about, and 3 or 4 times as good as blocks. And blocks and LFGY are great funds. Just depends on what you're into. If you want more upside or if you want more downside protection, it's your choice. I think I want to open up Blocks' website and look at their holdings and see if they're really out of ETHA. That would be big news. That was kind of their core holdings was FBTC, ETHA, and HODL. They still had HODL. Anyway, let's see Alti protecting capital. Heck yes, 1.81%. So they protected capital, not quite twice as much as twice as well as LFGY, but they protected about twice or 3 times as well as blocks today anyway. And they actually had something that was up. Rigetti, would you take a look at that? Well, that's nice. That's really nice. Am I sharing the screen? I'm not sharing the screen, am I? Gosh darn it. At least I figured it out, though. I looked down at my phone. Gosh darn it. We were looking at some good stuff. I looked at my phone, and I figured out I wasn't sharing the screen. I'm so sorry, guys. My bad. All right, well, I'll just show you real quick what I was looking at. At least I know now. No one texted me. No one had to. Yeah, no one texted me yet. Probably someone's fixing to. Anyway, sorry about that. All right. All I was trying to show is the terrible tree. Well, first of all, we looked at the market. You guys probably been looking at the market all day. So the terrible trio, Blocks is down 5%, whatever. Everything in their portfolio is down. Okay. LFGY protects capital better than blocks just because of the option structure. It's nothing about really it's just the option structure. So we'd expect it to be down less than it was a little bit, about half as much, even though everything in their portfolio got killed. Also, they had one stock that was up, and it was, what is that? Melly? Is that Mercado Libre or whatever? Something like that. I can't pronounce that one. And then Alti protects capital best out of the 3, even though everything was down, because Scott Snyder's such a good option trader. Remember, he made a comment the other day that he left his he left his puts in the money. So he's, because they have all the same stocks as blocks in LFGY. They ought to be down the same amount as LFGY, but yet they aren't. Why is that? It's because Scott Snyder knows how to hedge. LFGY doesn't use a hedge. They don't have to, though, because LFGY's magic trick is they get a little bit more on the upside. So that's kind of what they do. All right. Well, that's interesting to see. All right. Sorry I didn't share my screen, but you guys are all caught up now. Hey, Mark, how are you doing? I just saw your name. Durzo's here. Hey, retired here. Happy Red Day. Yes, sir. I used the Red Day to buy some. You guys want to guess what I picked up what I bought IBIT with? What I used to buy IBIT with? So what is this? This sounds like my kind of language here. Yield boost. Protective puts kicked in. They only capture 20% of the double leverage. Oh, good. So yield boost. Good. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. And I actually sold some. Is it Yield Boost that I sold? Whose company is Yield Boost? Is that Granite? I get everyone's brand mixed up. Granite's Yield Boost, right? And now we have Income Blast coming out. Income Blast is Tuttle, but everyone has a different brand. Anyway, unfortunately, I sold some Yield Boost, and I tweeted about it. I couldn't handle the erosion in YSPY. I mean, I was down at $1.50, even though the market's been in a rip-roaring bull market. I bought it in April, or I bought it in March. I didn't quite pick the low with YSPY, but I bought it in March, just a starter position, and it dropped to $1.50. And I'm totally being sarcastic. I had $5.73 of divvies. I did great in that. But anyway, I did great in that. But I wanted to de-risk. Market's still close at all-time highs. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, and I wanted to reallocate to something that wasn't at all-time highs like IBIT. So, yeah, Mark, great minds think alike. I did this. I blew out too. I blew out of YSPY. Still had a decent profit. Got it in March. Like I say, I lost $1.50, but made $5.73. So whatever the difference is, $3.25 or whatever on $20. It was fine trade. I just had like 4%. I was just kind of curious about it. I don't have any problem with them. I may look at them later, but what I did, just I'll stop teasing it so much. I bought BITK. I wanted to buy the dip in Bitcoin, and I really like the idea of just using zero DTs in Bitcoin and being uncapped tonight. Now, Bitcoin has to turn around for it to do any good. It won't do any good if Bitcoin doesn't turn around. I may not have got the low, but 107, I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I did, and I still have plenty of cash. But anyway, so yeah, I had SPY also. I don't know how long you had yours. I was checking I'm not even including drip. I'm just including if I bought it in March. I had terrible timing on buying it. I paid I was in it for like 21 and I sold it today anyway, I lost $1.50 on the NAV part of it. So you're dripping BITK. Well, sweet. Yeah. Anyway, I'm new to the BITK team, and actually I had more YSPY than I thought. Actually, YSPY was 6% of the account, not 4%, 6% of the account, and so now I have 6% in BITK. And I mean, that's not a whole lot, but I also have tons of DeFi exposure through Alti, through blocks, through Alti and blocks, basically. All right, well, let's talk about some other stuff. So we looked at the terrible, okay, lightning spread. Let's see how the old lightning spread is doing today. Let's see if we're winning this basketball game or not. All right, so let's see if we're winning. Well, I guess we'll go to the daily change first. On the daily change, we won. We won. I mean, they lost 15 and we lost 12. We're negative 12, negative 13. Well, negative 12. Well, that's negative 13. We'll round it up. So, they lost more than us by about 20% or something. Okay, that's rare. On the way down, usually we're going to lead, but anyway, for whatever reason, that's wonderful. Now let's look at the total since inception. I bet we went back ahead in the ball game. I bet the lightning spread's ahead of the Qs. Let's see. Here it is. Oh yeah. So here we go. We went ahead. We pulled ahead here. Shot a 3-point play. Now we're ahead 51-49. Well, now it's back. It could be a football score. But in any event, it's close. 51-49 is nothing. That is nothing. But anyway, I'm glad we're on the right side of the score. We were up 61-60. Well, it was tied there. It was tied there, but then they got ahead of us 65-64 last night, and now it's 51-49. All right. Well, come on, QLDY is one of my 4 horsemen. I really up my allocation in that, and I'm a big believer in this. once again, it's not going to help me if the market goes down that much. But if the market will turn around, this thing should get basically the same upside as the Qs and pay me a twice week dividend that I can drip and get more shares with. So I think this one's going to be a good one. I really do. We'll see, though. We shall see. All right, so let's look at the index buffer. The index buffer. I'm going to be on Saturday morning at 7:30. I know it's kind of early. It's 8:30 on the East Coast, though. So, it's 7:30 on the East Coast. I think it's 6:30 for my time. It's what I really do, because I missed it one time because I just assumed it was an East Coast time. Anyway, it's going to be early, but I'm going to be on with ETF Inspector and ETF Delta, which is real intimidating to be on with those guys because they're so well prepared and just, but anyway, I'll bring my own. I'll add a little craziness into the show. I'll add some hot takes and stuff, but those guys are, especially ETF Delta. That guy is a really good writer, and he doesn't even do YouTube, but he has a Substack that's just it goes over my head mostly. All right, well, index buffer. Let's start with the old index buffer. All right, in the SPY land is feed and 5E every freaking day, like I always say. Look at that. It never fails. Down the most or up the most. So, I guess these are good companies in bullish markets, but like my friend Mark said, job number one is protecting capital, and I agree with that. And I don't think feed and 5E do a good job of protecting capital. I really don't. If I had to have one of these SPY surrogates, I don't know. I had YSPY, and that was, but I don't know. But it wouldn't be feed or 5E. Let's just say that. It'd probably be T-SPY or SPY-T, something like that. I think those are good ones. All right. Well, look, one of these was up, FIRS. I keep thinking this gets delisted or closed down. I thought the fire funds were no more, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Or maybe it's tomorrow's their last day or something. This one right here is VYLD. We don't talk about that much. I did a show on it when it first came out. Its defiance is, oh, look at that. Amazon's up 13%. That may help the market tomorrow. That may really help the market tomorrow. Coinbase is up 2% in extended hours. But yeah, Amazon's up 14% now. That's great. Cipher Mining's up 46 cents right now. Heck yeah. What's Tesla doing? Oh, Tesla's down 17 points. All right. Well, VYLD's one is Defiance. So they've come out with a long volatility fund. So I think it's like a UVIX. I don't think it pays a yield. I just put it on here to keep track of it, but it's not very impressive. The volatility was going up today, and this is only up 0.5 point. Salty did a lot better job doing, going up when the market goes down, going up 1.3. So anyway, all right. In NASDAQ land, the worst performers blocks. We already talked about this. The second worst performer is going to be LFGY just because of math. Or no, WPay is the second one. Well, math is working against WPay also on down days. But anyway, and then I guess after that should be LFGY, then Alti. So then we do have YMAX is down 2.6, YMAG down 2.4, LFGY down 2.5. See, and those are all great companies, and Alti's only down 1.81. It does a great job protecting capital, real active management, and they're really aggressive where they put their put hedges and stuff. All right, YQQQ was up 1.6. Look at that. YQQQ was up more than that dog Salty, and YQQQ is just a short on the whole Qs. That makes me feel good about not buying Salty. Salty's a dog. I think this YQQQ, 10% of that's a fine little fund to make an income and kind of smooth out the dips, because it pays an income. My NAV is terrible in it. The NAV's down, and of course, and it's made a little income, but not near enough income to make up for how much the NAV is down. All right, well, it's an inverse fund. What can you say? Look at USOY up. Everything else was down. So what do you expect? Some other big down movers were the other NASDAQ ones were pretty reasonable. Or no, I take that back. GPTY outperformed the NASDAQ on the way down. SEPI was a pretty reasonable. SEPI and Alti were the two safest of the SEPI, Alti, and KQQQ were the safest of the good Q surrogates. All right. Let's look at YieldMax, the YieldMax buffer report. Look at Murny. I guess just it's probably opposite day on days when everything's washing out. Sometimes the thing that's been the worst thing will go up for whatever reason. I wouldn't read too much into that. But it helps out things like YMAX. People always, it helps out YMAX because that's the whole idea of having a whole index. That if you have a S&P 500, the idea of why indexes are safer is because it's unlikely that all 500 stocks are going to drop at once. You might have, but when you have a single stock, it's a 50-50 chance that that you're going to be down, right? Basically. Law of large numbers. Anyway, that's not going to add that much cushion to YMAX, and it's not in YMAG, but and then Google saving the day also. Google's up 1%, helping out YMAG for sure. YMAG should do all right tomorrow because Amazon's killing it. Maybe maybe today was the low or something. Maybe Amazon's earnings, First Solar's up, Bitcoin sold out. Maybe maybe tomorrow's buy the dip and we rip up into the end of the week or something. Come on. LFG, LFGY, or whatever. All right. So, okay, let's see if you guys are talking about anything, and I'd be happy to address it. But then I was going to go look at I thought we could look at the dashboard. We could look at Rabo Tools dashboard. Okay, Redfish, congrats, Apple and Amazon holders. Yeah, I didn't see Apple was killing it also, but that's I have some GPTY, and GPTY was one of the better performing of the ones that were performing poorly, and that explains it. Apple's in there, and I believe Amazon is too, and stuff. Your fiat was green today. Yeah, my YQQQ. I guess I have mine up. Let's see. What was green today is my what was green today is K-Silv. It was one of the only things I had that was green. Look at this. K-Silv was up 70 bips, and freaking GDXY is way higher than where I sold it, and I dumped all the way out of it instead of just selling half of it. It's fine though, but GDXY, I could have got more for it. Oh well. At least I took the money and bought K-Silv with some of it, so in K-Silv's going up. Or no, K-Silv was up 2.8 today. Look at that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But unfortunately, GDXY was up 1.2, but I've been hearing silver's the new gold. All right. All right. Well, that makes me feel better. That was the only, I was down 1% today, and I would have been a lot worse had I not been 25, 30% in cash or whatever. All right. So, but yeah, everything else got murdered. I mean, gosh darn it. All right. Well, let's go over here. Let's go to the stocktools.com. Dashboard. Let's go. Let's hit up the dashboard, and then we'll hit up the real buffer report. All right. Well, but yeah, it's weird that industrials were up. Not by much. Industrials and gold were the only two sectors that were up. Well, consumer discretionary, I guess, also. Remember, it was down real big yesterday. Like I say, it's lots of times the things that work opposite. All the leaders were down today, and maybe we can go to the heat map here. Yeah, consumer discretionary and healthcare was up, but materials, communication, and meaning things like GPTY, that's communications. And anyway, it got murdered. Even utilities got nailed. Let's look here at the at the income ETF analysis. There's a lot of cooler stuff in here as far as back testing and options and stuff go, but I'm just addicted. I'm addicted to this. It's just so much better than it shows the same thing that my index buffer report shows, but it just does it in such a better way. All right, so let's go a week. Let's see we looked at a week earlier. Let's look at a month. Let's check out the past month. Heck, we're on the second to the last day of the month. Let's see kind of what's going on. I do remember other years that Halloween was a low. I remember the day before, the day afterwards. I remember in 2022, it was either Jamie Dimon or Bill Ackman, one of those guys that's always talking his book. I think it was Jamie Dimon came out, and we finished October, like 2022 was a shit show. We finished October down, I mean, the year down 20, 25, 30%, something like that. And Jamie Dimon said, I think we're down 25%. And he said, we could have another 25 to go. That's right. And I was like, oh my gosh, a 50% pullback. That's like 2008. But and it was the exact low. And then Bill Ackman did the same thing during 2020. He was like, this is terrible. And we bounced. Thank God in 2020. That was terrible. I mean, he wasn't really, he was telling the truth. But the weird thing is, I remember the low of 2022 was October. Now, this isn't like 2022. We've had like a 2-week pullback in crypto. This is not it's really just a bear market in crypto. I mean, the SPY and everything still at all-time highs been going up till recently. So, but anyway, I'm just trying to think of of something positive. So hopefully this thing's about sold out. We just need Bitcoin to turn around. Bitcoin's close to that 105, 103 low. I mean, hopefully it finds support tomorrow, starts rocking the other way. All right. Well, anyway, let's look back at the past month and see what kind of month. It's actually been a good month for things like the SPY and the Qs. Like the SPY is like 1% off all-time highs. So, I mean, sure enough, look at Google. It's up. Google's up 11%, but GOOW is up 13 because of that 20% leverage. Same thing here. Trying to think. Let's see. That is about 20% also. I mean, it doesn't always work out directly, but 11 to 13, 10% is 110, 220 plus 1120 is 1340, and this is 1330. I mean, that's math, right? That's that leverage working for you. Like this time, Goop, I was going to say, but they didn't get it here, but it's because Goop isn't leveraged. Goop just does monthly covered calls. The good thing about monthly covered calls are they don't impede the upside that much. And so Goop got nearly all the upside. That's probably how Howard is raging with KQQQ. Maybe he's using those monthly options. But at the same time, that's why KQQQ only pays 9%. The monthly options don't pay much, but they don't impede the upside that much. All right. Then AVGW back here to Round Hill. It's a good one. That's probably 20% right there. That relationship, I bet. This is 20% or close. Close, yeah. Or that's right on 20%. Isn't it $1.60 something? $1.60 plus 840 is 10. I mean, yeah, it's right on the money. Same thing right here. PLTW up 20% more than PLTR. Maybe 20% is the magic number. I mean, where it's enough leverage to be interesting and to add alpha, add return, and make you, and create wealth instead of destroy it. But at the same time, it's not so much leverage that it does destroy your wealth in a pullback. Like MST. I wonder what MST's been doing lately. I mean, that thing, 200% leverage in MicroStrategies. My Lord, that's a lot of leverage. All right. Then we have NVDY. So YieldMax is usually back here in the back of the pack because of the way they structured their options, even if it's on the same security. Like GUI right here is up 8, the parent's up 11. That's that fully capped or that partially capped upside working for you, or working against you in this case. But and then here's Winter. We're just talking about Winter. Now that's not a good sign when Winter's up 6%. Rob, if you're listening, you just need to make their parent Mr., but just put a minus in front of it. Make it the negative results of Mr., and then that would be a good proxy for Winter. You would have on here that Mr. It'd be plus 10 because that's the way I would do it. Because you're inverse. It's short. You're short, Mr. So you can just put anyway. Now, Rob does listen to my suggestions, but the guys at YieldMax and Round Hill and stuff, they don't care what I say. All right. Paul T, look at that. That looks good. AMDY, that looks, Murni, SMCY. All right. Let's look at a one-day result. Let's see who did. Let's see if there's any bright spots. There's probably a few. Google. Let's see. Let's see what we have. Tune into the Daily Factor tonight. I'll try to have it on about 7 and pre-recorded. It shows for Marcus. I'm making it for Marcus and guys like Marcus. It's going to be Oddball Thursday, or I thought of a better name for it earlier, Misfit Thursday or something. I'm going to throw all the funds in out of those 154 funds we look at that we never talk about because they're like weird, because they like SCHD, or not really weird because it's not options and it's not exciting. But we're going to throw in like CLM, which is a good fund, but it's a different, it's a different kind of fund. We're going to throw in CAIE. And so I'm going to throw in the kind of the, bonds and, weird stuff. It just no covered calls. There isn't going to be any Misty, no Coney, no nothing like that. We'll get back to normal programming tomorrow night. I think tomorrow night's going to be Qs, and then Saturday will be SPYs. I'll probably take Sunday off. All right, Murney, let's see here. So this is on a one-day basis. Well, good job, Murney. See, he did this right. Oh, no, I was just going to say now. I was thinking, never mind. But on those inverse ones, like in this case, all I would do is just program it to be negative, whatever this number is. So it'd be positive 5.7. Because if you're short Coinbase, you'd be up 5.7. So at positive 5.7 is your target, and you got 2.9% of it. That way it won't confuse people that maybe don't understand that they're shorts and don't do the conversion in their mind. Same thing here. Tesla and crash. Inverse Tesla's down was up 5% today. So up 5.6, what you're aiming for, and you got half of that sweet upside. You caught half the upside. All right. Well, on a one-day basis, okay, so we got inverse, 3 out of the top 4 inverses, but we have GOW. Now let's see, and this is on a one-day basis, but let's see if it's 20% on a one-day basis. It probably isn't. It's like 34 cents. It's about, it's not quite 20%. Not quite a 20% bonus, though. Now, here's Goop from Howard using those monthly options, but he's catching all that upside. Those monthly options just don't impede it much. Because, for one thing, they can set them further out of the money because they're monthly. But because they're monthly, it also has more time to go in the money. So it should be relative, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't impede the upside that much. Okay, here's another thing. Winter and Mister. This should be positive 7. So, yeah, inverse Mister was plus 7, and Winter caught 1.6 of that, which is very terrible. Come on, guys. What are you guys doing over there? Come on. You guys need to catch more upside than that out of Winter when Mister's down 7. They may have been capped out. The down 7's a pretty big move, and then maybe their strikes were too close. Or whatever. AAPW, Apple-based. This is a good one too. And it's going to be good tomorrow, it looks like. Anyway, good job. Then we have dips. This is an inverse one. So inverse NVIDIA would be plus 2. And this thing actually did pretty well. It caught 1.38%. Then we have gold. It makes me sick that gold's rallying. I'm glad though. I'm just going to buy K gold tomorrow. That's it. I'm done trying to pick the bottom in gold. All right. They say don't try to pick bottoms so you get stinky fingers. So I'm not, all right, guys, we can talk about whatever you guys want now. But as I say that, I want to look at my pairs trade that I didn't do and I didn't show you guys to do because I didn't want anyone to lose money. I want to see if it's doing anything yet. Remember, it was short the market because the market was at all-time highs. It was puts in the SPY and calls in IBIT because they both can't be right. They're just ridiculous. But okay, so it was actually shorts in the Qs, and it was long in IBIT. But I'm so glad that no one did it. It's down $300 right now. But I mean, who knows if the market keeps going down? I mean, it depends. If it's a really bad day tomorrow, it may make money. But right now, it looks like a loser. Anyway, I'm glad no one did that. And the problem is because IBIT is getting blown out. And the short hasn't made enough money to offset the long. All right. All right. What do you guys want to talk about? Anything. Yeah, oh, I'm sure. I bet that's a good one. Which one was it? Do you know which one it was, Redfish? Which one made the video compared to Sinking Ship? I tried to set, well, I'll tell about it later. But yeah, I mean, Alti is the very bottom of my own metric. Or not the very bottom, but it's Alti's had a rough time of it. It's probably not as low as Misty. But to be fair, both of them were in the top 10 back when they were going up. You know, it's a trading index. They were, it's what have you done for me in the past quarter? So yeah, 3 months, June and July and stuff. Alti never made it to number one, I think, and I don't think Misty ever made it to number one, but they were both in the top 10, top 20 consistently. All right, so I guess we could go. Let's go see what's happened here. Let me make sure this is working. We have some new stocks. Oh, we got CanQ, which is a new member, and that's going to be in tonight's show. You guys probably don't know what CanQ is, but it's a hedged equity fund that uses bonds and synthetic exposure to the market, and it has uncapped upside, but it only pays a 5% yield. But still, it's definitely going to go in the oddball. I'll probably put STRK in the oddball one because it's like preferred stock, and I'll probably put SSK will be in the oddball. That's crypto. Shoot, they're talking about gold. This guy, and his name is Carter Work from CNBC, and there's an arrow on the chart pointing this way. So I think I did the right thing, get out of gold, because he's real good at technical analysis, and I don't think he's fixing to give it a compliment. It doesn't look like by his chart. All right, well, good job. All right, well, but anyway, yeah, I'm just going to throw in oddballs that don't really have a, so Stride, Strike, and STRC, which are preferred stocks related to Mr. They'll go in there. Anyway, it should be interesting. And I'll throw in CRF, and CRF or CLM is going to win. It's one of the best stocks in the history of closed-end funds. I bet you it wins. It has great risk and return characteristics. But I'm just going to throw in the ones that we never would get a chance to speak about otherwise. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just see how we finish today. Let's look and see how bad Misty and Alti are doing, is what I'm saying. Let's see how low they've fallen. I mean, if you go from the dead high, Bitcoin hit 127, it's 107 today. So it's down 20%. The 20% is where bear market territory starts. I mean, when the SPY pulls back 20%, they call it a bear market. Pulls back 15% or 10%, they call it a correction, I think. So, I mean, that's what's hurting those two stocks so much. Not to mention Blocks is getting murdered. All right, well, let's just do it like this. Let's just run the short term. I'm not showing the long term lately because I discovered some data integrity issues with my I'm getting some bad prices on my 1 year total return, and that doesn't factor in. I just display it to show how they've done, just as kind of a reference. But something's jacked up. I have a call scheduled with Rob this weekend, and he's going to help me try to figure it out. But the reason these right here, these are too new to be, let me see if I do this. If I do paste format, if the colors will come also. No, maybe paste conditional formatting. No. All right. I had them color coded to know which ones were new and stuff. All right. So the short-term max factor, TSLP, TS2, GUI, 1, 2, and 3. Then we have Tesla. Good job, Tesla. Aptly, Goop, Chippy. My Chippy's doing great. XYLG, AMDW having a nice run. TSLW. That's interesting. The TSLY is beating TSLW. Despite the fact that TSLW is leveraged, but this is over a, leverage helps on the way up, hurts on the way down. And this isn't just over 1 day or something or 1 week where it's gone straight up. This is over a quarter. So maybe over a quarter, it didn't quite match the performance of Tesla. All right, let's go to the bottom. We'll just do it this way. Oh, geez, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. The only way this could be worse if it was Misty dead last and then Alti second to dead last. But I mean, Misty, come on, Misty. What in the heck are you doing? Jackson, it's all right. You aren't in trouble. Jackson's like, please don't be mad at me. You aren't in trouble, Jackson. Come here. You want to come up here? You want to come up here? Come here. Oh, yeah, sir. Look at that dog. All right, Jackson. I'll be done in a minute. But okay, well, let's see how you get to dead last. Well, for one thing, I mean, you have a high yield, but that yield's not really real. I mean, it isn't. I mean, part of it is, but the max factor can figure that out. You know, the part of it that's related to the stock dropping is not considered. You know, we try to consider these on an apples to apples basis with each other. But even when you subtract that out, it still has a decent yield. But I mean, you're bleeding out 42% in a quarter. Think about that. At that rate, you would lose, you'd lose 160% a year. I'm just joking. I know the percentage don't work that way. One time I was trolling Victoria and I made a post, but she was talking about something was down 10% in a quarter or something, or 20% in a quarter, something. And she just added the percentages together. You know, some of those down 30. And anyway, I made a, you know, percentages don't work like that. Still not good, but I mean, you aren't going to drop 160%. But what would that be over a year? 40%, then 40 of 40. So another 16 points. So 42 plus 16 is 58 or whatever. Then 58 times 4. I mean, 70% or something. I mean, it's on pace to have a bad year. So there's probably a way to do that more effectively than I was just trying to figure out in my head. Anyway, so let's see how bad Alti is. I see it's off the bottom a little bit, but not too much. But it did protect capital today, so maybe some other stuff dropped faster than it. It doesn't, you know, they're all dropping, but I mean, you know, maybe some stuff passed it on the way down. It's like fifth to last. I mean, 130% yield, that's not real either. It's more like 80. The max factor knows all that stuff, but this is real. Unfortunately, the NAV being down 18% is real. Volatility is low is the only good thing you could say for Alti. But like I say, volatility low just means it may not drop as fast as MST will, but it's not going to stop it from dropping. Look at MST's volatility at 99.1. Now, you want to talk about a hot mess. That thing is a hot mess. I mean, Misty's not exactly mellow with the 60 vol. I mean, but, you know, a 99, that takes the cake. But anyway, all right, well, Alti does still have positive total return on the quarter, but it keeps getting lower and lower every day, and that's the number I've been having problems with. Just for fun, let's go see if that's anywhere close. I mean, I bet it isn't. I bet it's 12.6 is what it said. I don't know why I don't understand where the mistake is. Some of the data I'm getting from one source and some of the data I'm getting from another source. And I think that it may be a mismatch in a date here or there or something. Eli Lilly's up. I guess they beat earnings. Let's see. Well, let's just look at Alti. So for the past year, we'd go back to October 30th. It's probably up in that time frame because it's all 12 months under the new prospectus change. So it's probably up. I'm just trying to see if it's up 12.6 or if this is another problem. Yeah, 12.6. Okay. Well, that's working there. That's working there. Well, the other day I had some that were nowhere close. I mean, it should have been like 12 and it was like showing 25 or, you know, nowhere close. I can see if it's off a point or two. One charting package might have a little bit different way, you know, but anyway, okay, well, 12.6, at least it's still up. We'll see how long that lasts. Yield Boost did relatively well on it down. Yeah, good. I'm glad. You want to sell your Misty. I'm not trying to encourage. Anyway, don't. I was down Misty, but what I'm saying is my index is not, it's just one way of looking at it. Just because it's dead last on there, it doesn't mean that it's not. Don't sell it because you saw my index. If you like it or if you know something, but yeah, it's just all it means is out of the universe of the ETFs that I follow using risk and reward. Right now, it has the worst combination of risk, reward, and return. It also looks at return. risk and reward, and NAV return. And it just has the worst out of the 154. So it's not good news, but, but it maybe we'll bounce. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know anything about, the question was, what's Mr. doing? I don't know anything about that. Okay. So what do I need to go through these in order. Yeah, CLM is exciting, Jason. Be watching for that show. I'll try to have it on at 7, and I guarantee you it's going to win. But there's another good closed-end fund called CEFS. I don't think it does as well because I think I'll run them against each other. But I mean, I've heard that it's managed well. It's a fund of funds that buys closed-end funds and tries to buy them at a discount and stuff. Penelope's back. Hey, Penelope. Okay, man, there's a lot of 181 people. Where did you guys all come from? Look, I'm going to need to get an assistant. Jackson, you need to get over here and start feeding me questions. There's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with all these questions. Well, you guys, thank you so much. This is a world record. This is a world record for me. Let's put the comments on the stage because that maybe will entertain you guys a little bit more so you can see. We could see comments as they come in and stuff. Okay. Well, there's no way I'm going to catch up with these. Anyway, I'm flabbergasted. What else do you guys want to look at? Well, it doesn't even matter because I can't see the thing. I guess I could look at it here. Gosh darn it. I hate that I have a touch screen and I always touch it by mistake. Who's here? Is there somebody here? Did I add somebody in? Why does it say Redfish right there? All right. Okay. I'm wondering, okay. Here's a good one. I'm wondering how the 10 for 1 Redfish is welcome to. It's not Redfish. The name's right there, though. I think I have another StreamYard open somewhere else or something. I'm sorry. I don't think that's anything to worry about. The 10 for 1 split. Well, it's, I don't know. I mean, it's just math. It shouldn't affect it at all. But it just emotionally, it may affect it. The people that haven't already left will probably for sure leave once that happens. And it's not just me. I mean, forget about what I say. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know a lot of you guys like Todd, and he's a fire lifestyle guy, and he has a giant, like a $1.6 million portfolio, and has good videos. He's pulling for the split because he's on margin. It helps with margin. Also, if you're somebody that's trading options, you get more strikes when it splits to 50. You'll have a 49, 48, 47, 46, 45. Right now, if it's a 5, you have a 5 and a 4. Well, having a 5 and a 4 would be the same as having a stock at 50, and the first put you could sell is a 40. It's so far away, you wouldn't bring in that much money. On a relative basis, you'd a lot rather have a 49, 48, 47, not to mention you could sell spreads, same thing. So what's going to help option traders, according to Todd, I don't really understand this, but according to Todd, it's going to help with margin somehow. Go watch his channel for more information on that. But other than that, it's going to be, it's going to be a PR disaster. And it already has been. That's probably part of the reason why everyone's selling. Anyway, I'm sorry I can't keep up with these. I'm just going to go to the bottom and try to keep up with the new ones so we can shoot the breeze. All right, CEFS is managed well. Yes, that's what I've heard. It's from Saba. Do you have any, Marcus? Just wonder if does anyone have any CEFS? Be watching for that show at 7 since I have 182 of you guys on here. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a really good show. You thought you deleted that reply. How did your thing get on the screen? Does anyone know that? I'm not very good at this stuff. Or it's not, I keep thinking it's not Redfish's thing. Wait. Okay. I keep thinking it's Redfish because it says Redfish right there. But how did that number 2 get there? I bet I have another browser open and I bet maybe I have another instance of StreamYard open. Anyway. Yeah, I'm enjoying the pullback just because I have cash and it's making me feel smart. But, all right, so let's talk about something else. What do you think of Grand Share Showpost? I like it, but I think there's better choices out there. I think there's better choices out there, but it's definitely, or there's better choices for me out there. I really think, I know the people, I get the people don't like Yieldmax that much. And I get that a lot of people like Roundhill. So that's fine. Let's forget about those two because, those have the biggest followings. What's the matter with Rex? I guess if Rex isn't enough income for you, enough yield, Does anyone? But anyway, Penelope, thanks for the question. And I did great on Y-Spy, and I was fine with it. I didn't sell it because I don't like it. I just sold it because the market was high. And so, but anyway, but Redfish says it's the worst of the bunch. Yeah, and I'll say that out of those, I think that Round Hill, Yieldnet, yeah, I'd have to say it's the worst of the bunch also, but I don't dislike it or anything. But I'd have to say it's in fourth place. I mean, what do you guys think about Curve? What would you think about Curve versus Granite shares? Yeah, they don't seem to capture a lot of upside. That's a good point. That's a good point. You're a Rex Shares fan, Redfish? Okay. Well, that's a good point. I'm going to have to learn how to run these shows better. I've never had 108. I'm so overwhelmed. You guys have no idea. Where's their hedges in? Oh, Max, Netflix is doing it too. I thought you guys were talking about Alti. Okay. On Netflix, okay, that's awesome. Because I'm happy about that because the price is too high for me to sell a butterfly or buy a butterfly. But what doesn't trade at like 1,400 or something? They needed to split that. Do you guys remember a few years ago when stocks were trading at like everything? Like Amazon was like 1,500. I don't know if Apple ever got up that high, but it seems like Amazon, Google was like in the thousands. I mean, I remember that was like 2020, 2019, 2018, 19, 20 in there. Anyway, the reason I heard that happened is because institutions love it to be that high because it makes their trade costs lower. These people like hedge funds that buy millions of shares, they pay a per share basis to the clearinghouse. They pay 2 pennies a share or whatever. So if they can trade something that's at 1,500, oh, that's awesome because they can do it, for like 2 pennies. The thing was, it was messing over retail. It was a bad deal for retail, so that's why they switched it. Okay, so it looks like the consensus is that we like Curve. So you guys would put Curve ahead of Granite. Do we have any Granite Shares fans in here? I mean, does anyone like Granite Shares? I'm just wondering. I'm reading the most current comments now. Hey, Brad, how are you doing? CEFS has alternatives and hedges like gold in it. I wasn't aware of that. Well, I think that should be good. I mean, I'm still thinking that probably CLM is going to carry it because it's such a monster. So we do have, is that a yes? Are you a Yield Boost guy? I mean, I talked to someone, I had someone on my stream last night. Okay, what about Bitwise? I had someone on the stream last night and they were real big into ICOI. And it's paying a monstrous dividend. And it's paying a monstrous dividend, but I mean, it's second to last on my metric. So that just means it's had a really bad quarter. It doesn't mean it's a bad, but it's just had a rough quarter. I mean, it's the only one that's beat is Misty. So let's see what it's done. It's 213% yield, but it's probably, I don't know the calculations on how much of that is real, but it's much less, probably 150 or something. Still pretty good though. Once you figure it out and make it a real number. Volatile, it's half as volatile as MST. I mean, MST is the one I just don't get. 200% yield is down 63% this quarter. My gosh. I mean, it's gone from 13 to 5. I mean, AIYY hasn't had a great quarter, granted, but it's only gone from 3.5 to 2.5. I mean, that's 32%, but at least it's not 63%. And this one, I can't imagine that AIYY won't come back. Once again, though, this is the Granite Shares one. And the problem with them is it's fully capped and they don't seem to catch virtually any upside. Any upside related to the stock going up. It doesn't mean that they can't make money or whatever, that their option trades can't make money, but it just means that it's not correlated with the stock going up. Highly correlate with the stock going up, and that the Round Hill and the Yield Max for that matter are all really highly correlated with the stock going up. So it's a different strategy. But yeah, those put spreads are different. Somebody said they made an adjustment to their portfolio yesterday. It was so anyway, send it to me if somebody finds it. Yeah, ICOI has crazy yields. What was it you last night? I wasn't trying to talk out of school. Somebody was in here. Maybe it was Penelope, but I thought it was a dude was in here, and they're really happy with it. I mean, Bitwise has some cool stuff, and I added some of their other stuff into my into the Max Factor. Bitwise Asset Management, crypto. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to start writing a script for this show. If there's gonna be 180 people on here, figure out usually it's just me and my 10 best friends. So it's Marcus, Mark, SB, BR, and Jonathan if he's here, and Dan and 5 or 10 other people, and we can just go back and shoot the breeze. But I understand this isn't very engaging content. So I'll try to start doing better if this is going to be a thing. This is wonderful though. But yeah, I'll have a script and I'll go from one thing to another and not just around the horn. I'm going to have to get another monitor though also. Okay, but look at the stuff. So this is some cool stuff. I mean, I think some of these are cool. So there's ICOI. I'm more into the income ones. So in the income ones, they also have they have IMST, which is in the Max Factor. They have IMRA, which is in the Max Factor as of yesterday. They have GameStop. This is the only income fund I know that's based on GameStop. And then they have Ethereum. So we're getting a lot of Ethereum income funds. I know of ETHI, and I know of ETTY, and I know of IETH. And in fact, bear with me right here. Let's go make sure that IETH gets in the main database. We'll see how old it is. It may not be old enough. Let's see. But I've heard Ethereum's the next Bitcoin, just like I've heard silver's the next gold. I mean, what do I know? So this IETH is, Google's not pulling up. Oh, it was zero. It has zero dividends so far. Maybe it's just been around. That's the one problem with Bitwise. Don't they just pay quarterly though? Let's look at it another way. Or I mean, that's the one, kind of drawback, the one knock on Bitwise. But yeah, it's usually 10 of us in here talking about girls and sports, and I'm going to have to start actually trying to be more influential. We can talk about girls and sports also, but I got demonetized when we were looking at the ball game the other night. Not like it would have made any money anyway, but yeah, this one's not old enough yet. And sure enough, they pay monthly, and they haven't, they've only been out since October 2nd. I bet you they pay around the 1st of November. So yeah, this one's going to be interesting to look at. Well, let's talk Ethereum income funds. Okay. So the ones, I don't really have any of these on my shopping list, but if I did, I might get this Defiance one, ETHI, but let's take a look at it because it's leverage plus income, just a small amount, just for some fun. Okay. All right. ETHI. So this one's paying at 12%. It's been out only since September. I mean, October. So that's in 1 month. It's paid 12. You got to be kidding me. It's because it's leverage. So I bet the NAV's a hot mess. Sure enough. Well, at least this one pays weekly. Okay. And then there's one other one. We were talking about this one on the morning show, ETTY. With Defiance and with Granite shares, I swear, I think didn't Will come from Direction? A lot of these people came from bigger companies. They started out young 10, 20 years ago. Remember when Direction was the biggest thing in town? I mean, when all the leveraged ETFs came out in 2010 and stuff, and it was kind of a thing for a while. Well, Sylvia worked there, and Defiance, and I think her partner at Defiance worked there, and then they broke off and started Defiance. And I was pretty sure I thought Will was maybe a Direction alum too. But anyway, I think that's kind of Will's thing. Here's my prediction. I mean, Will's a smart guy. They don't catch upside, but the upside he's trying to give you isn't the upside that I'm talking about, where it gets extra when the market goes up. because he was on my show and I said that. I said, it doesn't catch upside when you do put spreads. He said, yeah, it does catch us plenty. He meant it catches plenty of, it has alpha, it has return. He's counting the yield as the upside. It's going to, and so, you know, he wasn't, I'm thinking about the upside correlated to the stock's price movement. It's a different deal. So I bet you if the market was melting up, I bet you Granite shares would do well. I bet you, in other words, I bet you because they're selling options on leveraged ETFs. So I bet you they're just kind of a victim of the market turning around lately. But I'll try to find a way to test that or whatever. All right. So this is a cool one. This is Amplify. This is like the stablemate to Baggy and Biddy, 3%. And this one hasn't paid yet. So this one must be a monthly. I know that a lot of people just won't buy monthlies, and I used to not get it, but now I kind of do. I mean, why do it when everyone else is on weekly? Now it's kind of like you're the oddball. It used to be you were kind of weird. Yes, I'm going to be the retire. It used to be you were kind of weird if you did weeklies. I mean, it was like the weekly ones were the ones that stood out. Now it's kind of weird if you don't do weeklies. Well, I don't know about going deep. I mean, I'm not a cornerstone guy, but what I'm going to do is I have a show where we look at the max factor, but I am going to go deep into the risk and reward in each one of those. We're going to line up like 10 or 15 of these closed-end funds, and we'll throw some other stuff in there, but kind of oddballs. And yeah, I'm going to look at the price a year ago, the price 9 months ago, or the price 3 months ago, the price now. We're going to look at the volatility, and then we might even compare a few of them to each other, but I wouldn't really say deep, but I'm going to have kind of a countdown show. Okay, Scott, to be honest, the script might stifle. Yeah, you're right. It is fun. It is fun. And that's why I like to do these shows. I wasn't even going to do one and I was bored and I was sitting around and I was like, I don't have anything to do. Let's just go live. You know, and what it really was is I need to go tape that one show, but I haven't typed out the script for it yet. The one I'm talking about, the Daily Factor. And I was like, I need to get this Daily Factor typed out and stuff. And then I was thinking, man, that doesn't sound like any fun. Let's just go live. I can do that later. So, but retire. Yes, I am going to, I'll put those back in or yeah, they're still there. I really like that too. Retire. That costs $45 a month. You have to have StreamYard Premium, but I got StreamYard Premium to be able to stream to Google also. And I'll say this much, you could also put notes on the screen. So like I could put here, you know, retire is, you know, I can make like a script if I'm talking about you or whatever, and then I can come on the show and you could see it here, but when it's on the show, you can't see it on your end because I would be on another thing, and it puts up my script, and you could either hit play and it'll play it like a teleprompter, or you can just and you can just scroll. But so you can have a whole show. It's so awesome. I tried to do it the other night with on the play button, and you can set different speeds, but I could never get the time right and stuff. So what I do is I'll do this tonight, and you guys won't be able to tell because you can't see it. I'll be in a different view, and I'll say, hello, welcome to the Max Factor. And I'll be reading off the script, but I'll be looking right at the screen. So yeah, I would say that the teleprompter feature alone is worth the $44. And the being able to have notes on the screen is really cool also. No, I only have one screen working right now. I mean, my other screens, because I used to be an Apple guy and I have all Apple stuff, and I have two Apples back there. They're both have dead batteries. And so I'm using a really good Asus that I have, a really good, a nice PC, but I don't have a backup monitor for PCs. I do for Apple. So I either need to get my Apples fixed and use the two monitor setup on Apple again, or just go invest in a cheap. I mean, I know they're cheap. Well, it's been a good month. I'll go buy a second monitor. Second monitors for PCs are nothing, but I really like the teleprompter feature. That's really cool. And I think it makes it more engaging on you guys' side, especially when I'm going off on a rabbit hole or forget to share the screen. At least you guys can see what you guys are saying, and you can read the most common, the most recent note. So yeah, I really like that. Then there's, what else is there? Styles. I haven't even messed with a lot of this stuff. There's all different styles and stuff. Anyway, I still don't know how I have that extra person up there in the screen. Yeah, but the comments in the bottom right are cool. Okay, Retired, do you want to promote that thing? So let me go back to the comments. Retired's going to do like a 3-hour live stream or something on Monday. And he's invited me, and you want me to join in with the stream or whatever if we're around, not just me, but the other influencers. Let me check into this right here. Yeah, Retire. I only have one screen. I'm not fancy like you guys up there in southern New Jersey, right there on the Jersey Shore. You guys have lived quite the life up there close to the beach. Don't you live by Sylvia? Come on, if you live by Sylvia, that's kind of a humble brag, because I bet Sylvia, or you live by Sylvia's parents. I bet Sylvia's parents don't live in no shack, right? I bet she's got her parents set up at a nice little spot. Anyway, yeah, I know I am crazy for just using one screen. All right. Well, also there's 206 people here right now. I mean, I'll use my iPad for a second screen. I'll never make this mistake again. I swear to goodness that tomorrow I'll have the iPad open on my burner account, because it's not going to hook up, but I'll just have a burner account going, and I'll be watching my own video, and I can see the comments come across, and I'll be able to respond in real time. How about that? All right. I promise I'll do that tomorrow. Yes. Okay. So here's the deal I wanted to talk about, Retire. You're going live 11:10 now. And also I'm going to be on your show Monday morning, I think, like either the 17th or maybe the one after that, because maybe the 24th. Anyway, I'm going to be live on your morning show. I hope you guys will be around for my show, for my pre-recorded show tonight. It'll be totally different than this. I'll be buttoned down. I'll stick on the script, everything. Yeah, I'll get another screen. For sure. Anyway, so 11:10. So that's not Monday. That's 2 Mondays from now, right? All right. Hey, I heard about it. Okay. They're in a rich neighborhood, not me. I'm giving you a hard time. I bet New Jersey's nice. I heard there's a town up there that they call the Beverly Hills of New Jersey, and it's called Dill, I think, and DELAL or something like that. And they say that a lot of, I think, wealthy folks from Queens or from Brooklyn have summer homes there, and have had summer homes there since the 20s, and that it's like the fanciest place on the Jersey Shore. I saw a show on TV about it. So I looked at it on Google Maps, and sure enough, there's all big mansions there. It's right on the beach, but I think it was called Dill or something. Dill, New Jersey or something like that. Anyway, all right, I'm going to go get another screen. But anyway, I'll promote Retire. I'm going to promote your show. I'll promote it more when we get closer also. I thought it was Monday, but it's coming up. And I will definitely be there. I can't wait to be there. All right, guys. So I'm going to get out of here, and I appreciate y'all being here. And I really am going to go write that script and try to make some good content. Be looking for that about 7, and then I'll try this again tonight, especially since there's 200 people. I'll probably have a live stream about 9. Now, Retire's going to be, people on the East Coast will be in bed probably, and that's fine. But we had a good crowd last night. Had like 50 or 60 people, and it wasn't too many that we couldn't keep up with everything. And it was a good show. So be looking for a live tonight around 9 or 10, and be looking for a pre-recorded show about 7. All right. And I'm sure I missed comments in here, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to scan through really quick and make sure no one said, I don't see anyone where there's any questions here. It looks like you guys are mainly talking amongst yourselves. Okay. I think I'm caught up. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it very much, and I will talk to you later. See ya.